Hey guys, welcome back to Cretaceous Cast. I'm finally getting this paleo episode out. I've been working off and on for it for ages. This is a topical subject that everyone wants to know. How fast was the T-Rex? It's a huge debate. Some say that he was an ambush predator waiting for his prey, then bursting in on his future meal with a short sprint. Others say that maybe he was a slow, opportunistic scavenger. Then you got the guys who think that he was a fast, giant beast that can charge in on anything it wants too quickly. Spoiler alert, I'm one of those guys. Today I'll get some interesting tidbits out on this subject. By no means does this provide a definite answer, but it does give us a lot to think about Rexy's speed. I read a decent amount on the subject, and the popular view is that T-Rex is too big to move fast. Most people seem to think that he could get to about, say, 15 miles per hour. A lot of computer simulations are used to come up with the data regarding Rex speed, which one of the papers I read admitted that it still has about a 50% chance of failure. Another one of the popular simulations I saw, it didn't even factor in hip movement. The most interesting simulation I looked at, though, was calculating Tyrannosaurus growth. They used nanotyrannus specimens to calculate the growth, which is kind of questionable because people like myself think that nanotyrannus is a valid genus. That's kind of up for debate. I don't know. I'll talk about that in another video. But yeah, nonetheless, they did come up with some interesting numbers. In one section of the paper, they calculated all the different mass percentages of various extensor muscles for the Tyrannosaurus specimens. I could go on to this for a while, but I'll focus on the hip and knee particularly. The muscle mass percentage in the hip was ginormous, about the same or even double proportionally to modern-day ratites. The paper urges us not to take that as evidence Rexes were fast, because extant ratites are modified to be fast. They have vestigial tails, smaller heads, and overall their legs are very large proportionally. Rexes were very stout creatures. Plus, the amount of muscles around the hips aids the way its bones are laid out. They are laid out very similarly to modern-day birds, which that bone setup adds a lot of stress to the body without proper muscle attachment. The study also came up with numbers that suggested T-Rex had an estimated knee muscle mass of about 5%, which really doesn't mean that they can move very quickly. When I got to this point in my research, I really didn't believe that T-Rex could move very fast. I mean, he's big. Most imagined that it would be very hard for him to move fast carrying around all that weight. However, this is where things start getting interesting. There's evidence of T-Rexes falling, right? There have been indications on their chest area that they fell, but yet the bones healed from the impact. If you observe the actual bone makeup of Tyrannosaurs, you'll see that their bones, particularly their femurs, could be used for very fast movement. When people use elephants as an example as to why T-Rex couldn't run fast, it's not at all a good comparison. The two animals' morphology are completely different. T-Rex's leg bones have more curvature, and most importantly, more emphasized femoral condyles. Femoral condyles are the round edges at the end of the femur. They indicate knee flexion, essentially. If you look at an elephant's femoral condyles, they are barely rounded at all, and guess what? They don't move very fast. They clock in at about 15 miles per hour. If you look at a Tyrannosaurus femur, it's quite similar to a fast-moving horse. You can even compare it to a modern-day ratite. Plus, the air sacs in the bones of the Tyrannosaur could aid in fast movement as well. One article from Stanford states that the running animals like ratites and chickens, both of which are very similar when it comes to morphology to T-Rex, release elastic strain energy as they run. This could be a little far, but what if T-Rex did the same? Plus, it's a good idea to put into consideration how hard it would be for T-Rex to hunt if he was just slow. Think about it. Rexy hunted very dangerous prey. Even the large duck-billed dinosaurs he preyed upon could have been a great threat. Triceratops is a whole other thing to talk about, man. It takes way more work to fight another animal, and a lot more risk, than to just bite and run away. With the dangerous animals T-Rex hunted, it would have made a lot more sense to try to kill, and if it doesn't work, to run away. And now, of course, it'd be really cool to think that T-Rex had fights with Triceratopses in the past, and I'm sure they did. It's just, strategically, it makes more sense to bite and run away. Plus, you could take an animal by surprise by waiting a while and then bursting in. One estimate in a paper in the description below suggests that T-Rex could go from anywhere from about 31 to 37 miles per hour. Alrighty, so there you go. That gives you a good idea as to how T-Rex's speed may have been. Of course, it's not definite. It just gives you an idea as to how maybe you want to picture T-Rex from the past. So, yeah, before I end the video, I have a quick little fact for you. So, in Jurassic Park, during the classic Jeep chase scene, the animators were originally trying to make the T-Rex look like she was going to about 50 miles per hour. But to the animators, it looked odd, so they slowed down the speed to about 15 miles per hour, which, funny enough, is the same speed of an elephant, as discussed earlier. So that's the final thing we have in the film now. So yeah, what do you guys think? Do you think T-Rex is a more slow, opportunistic predator, an ambush predator, or that he just went in for the kill? As always, thanks for watching. I look forward to talking to you guys soon.